Hello there boys and girls and welcome to the Pulverizers YouTube channel. Today's video, as the title implies, will be a complete guide on beginner clue scrolls. This video will be broken down into these sections, so if you want to get straight into a specific part of the guide, then feel free to check out the timestamps listed below in the description. So, what are beginner clue scrolls? Beginner clues are the easiest and fastest variation of clue scroll to complete, as well as being the only type of clue scroll which are available for free-to-play players to obtain. Each beginner clue can have a maximum of 3 steps with a minimum of 1 step before the reward casket is obtained. An explanation on how to solve every potential step of a beginner clue will be explained later on in the video. Do they have any requirements? Unlike most types of clue scroll, beginner clues don't have any steps which require the completion or partial completion of any quests. However, there are several fairly low skill requirements which are required for steps involving Charlie the Tramp, which again will be explained later in the guide. These skill requirements are 25 fishing, which is required for you to catch a pike, 20 cooking so you can successfully cook a pike, 15 mining to mine a piece of iron ore, 15 smithing to be able to smith an iron dagger, and finally 18 crafting to craft a pair of leather chaps. Although this isn't a requirement to complete beginner clues, a good recommendation would be to have 37 magic so that every single free-to-play teleport is unlocked. This will drastically speed up the rate at which beginner clues can be completed, as you won't have to deal with walking everywhere, and we all know how annoying having no run energy can be. What are the rewards like? Overall, there are 15 different rewards on the beginner clues unique drop table, 7 of which are currently valued over 100k GP on the Grand Exchange. The most valuable item is the Zamorak Runesim Ornament Kit, which is sitting at around 400k GP on the GE as of this video. On average, a player will receive one of these unique items in 1 in every 12 beginner clue caskets that they open, with each clue being worth an average of just over 10k GP, which is pretty good for a free-to-play player considering how fast and easy they are to both obtain and solve. What are the best methods of obtaining beginner clues? Although beginner clues are dropped by a fair few monsters inside of free-to-play, I believe the best 2 methods to obtain them are by either killing goblins inside of Lumbridge, which have a 1 in 64 chance of dropping a beginner clue, or by killing dark wizards just south of Varrock, where players have a 1 in 50 chance of receiving a beginner clue. I believe that these are the best free-to-play methods as they are both very easy to access. A simple home or Lumbridge teleport puts the player within 10 seconds of the goblins, and a Varrock or Chronicle teleport to the Champions Guild also brings you very close to the dark wizards, which is extremely convenient when trying to quickly obtain a fresh clue after just solving one. Also, both these monsters have fairly low HP and combat stats, meaning that many can be killed in a short space of time. I would recommend players with lower combat stats to start off by killing goblins for clues, but once their combat stats have improved, then switching to dark wizards would be beneficial, as they have the added bonus of dropping valuable items like nature runes and fire talismans, which can really help players make additional profit aside from the loot obtained from the beginner clues. If players that have membership wish to obtain beginner clues extremely quickly, then they can do so by opening young impling jars, which have a 1 in 25 chance of dropping a beginner clue. But with all that said, it's time to move on to how to solve every single step that a beginner clue may give you. There are 6 different types of clue step that can be found in beginner clue scrolls. These are Anagram Clues, Charlie the Tramp tasks, Cryptic Clues, Emote Clues, Hot/Cold Clues, and finally Map Clues. Starting off with Anagram Clues, these require you to decrypt a string of letters in order to know which NPC to go and speak to for your next clue step or reward. There are 9 possible anagram steps which are listed here and in the description if you quickly want to skip to a specific one. The first anagram clue that we're going to be solving is an Earl, which means you're going to have to go and speak to Renil, who is inside of the Kharid skirt shop. So the easiest way to get there is by using the home or Lumbridge teleport if you're on free to play, and the glory teleport if you're on members. And as always, if you haven't completed the Prince Ali rescue quest, then make sure you don't forget your 10 GP for the gate, otherwise you're going to have to be slaying a couple goblins trying to get that. So make your way all the way down here, just southeast of Kharid, and talk to Renil. If you guys get the anagram clue Carpet Ahoy in one of your clues, it means you're going to have to go speak to the Apothecary, I think that's how you say it, who is just over here in Varrock. And obviously if you're not already in Varrock, then use the Varrock teleport to get here. Just speak to him and he'll give you the next step. Next up is the Anagram Disorder, which means you're going to have to go and speak to Cedrador, who is in the basement of the Wizard's Tower. So as with 90% of these clues, you can either teleport to Lumbridge with the Lumbridge teleport, or home teleport on free to play, or glory teleport to Draynor Village if you are on members, and then run south. Once you've made it to the Wizard's Tower, then simply go down to the basement and speak to Cedrador, who is just here. And he should give you your next step or reward. If you get the anagram I chord, it means you need to speak to Doric just north of Falador. So once again, easiest way to get there is by using the Falador teleport if you have unlocked it at 37 magic. If not, then you're going to have to run here. And when you get to his house, just speak to him. And there you go. Next up is the anagram clue in bar, which means you're going to have to go speak to Brian, who is in the Portsrim Battle Axe shop. So the fastest way there is to teleport to Falador and then run south if you're on free to play. And the fastest way on members is to glory teleport to Draynor Village and then just run to Portsrim from there. And once you get to Portsrim, it's just this shop here. So go inside and speak to Brian. If you get this anagram in one of your clues, it means you need to speak to Veronica, who is just outside of the Draynor Manor. So if you're on free to play, then the easiest way to get there is by going to Lumbridge by using the Lumbridge or home teleport and then running all the way north west to the Draynor Manor. But if you are on members, then obviously glory teleporting to Draynor Village would be the fastest way to get there. It's clues like this on free to play that really drain your run energy, but once you get there, talk to Veronica for your reward or next step. So if you guys get the anagram step Rug Deter in one of your clues, it means you're going to have to go and speak to Gertrude, who is just west of Varrock. So since I'm already in Varrock, I don't have to teleport anywhere, but if you're not, simply teleport to Varrock if you have unlocked it, and if not, just run all the way over here to Gertrude's house and talk to her. There she is. Thank you, Gertrude. So if you get the anagram clue Sir Share Red, it means you need to go and speak to the hairdresser in Falador. So the easiest way to get there is by using the Falador teleport, but if you haven't unlocked that, then you're going to have to go and run there. But yeah, you just need to come over here and speak to the hairdresser and he'll just give you your next clue. There we go. If you guys get the anagram clue Taunt Roof, it means you need to speak to Fortunato, I think that's how you say it, in Draynor Village. So once again, easiest way to get there is by using the Lumbridge or home teleport and then running to Draynor Village. And once you get to Draynor Village, simply speak to him as always for the next step / reward. Next up are Charlie the Tramp tasks. So if you guys get a clue step which asks you to go and speak to Charlie the Tramp, make your way to the south of Varrock to find him. Upon speaking to him, he can give you one of potentially 8 tasks to complete, and once you've completed the set task, simply speak to him again to claim your next step or reward. So first up, Charlie may ask you to cook him a trout or pike. Very simple, just cook a raw trout or pike depending on which he's asked you to do on the furnace just east of where he is standing. You may want to bring several raw trout or pike if you have a low cooking level in case you burn it. Once the fish has been cooked, talk to Charlie again for your next step or reward. Next up, Charlie might task you with fishing him a herring. For this you'll need a regular fishing rod as well as some bait. I'd recommend bringing several pieces of bait as you don't always catch a herring first time. The fastest to reach fishing spot is in the Lumbridge swamp, so teleport to Lumbridge, run south to the swamp, and select the bait option on a fishing spot. Once you've caught a herring, teleport or run back to Varrock and speak to Charlie again. Charlie could also task you with fishing him a trout. For this you'll need to make sure that you have both a fly fishing rod and several feathers, as once again you might not catch a trout first time. When you've got your rod and feathers, head back to Lumbridge right next to where the goblins are and select the lure option on one of the fishing spots. Once you've caught your trout, teleport or run back to Charlie for your next step or reward. Next up, Charlie might ask you to mine him a piece of iron ore. For this step, you need to have a pickaxe in your inventory that you have the level requirement to use. Once you have the pickaxe, run south through the Varrock entrance and then east until you see a mine. Mine a piece of iron ore. This can sometimes take a while on free to play depending on how many bots are there, and once you have your piece of iron ore, run or teleport back to Charlie. Another request from Charlie might be to smith him an iron dagger. For this you'll need an iron bar as well as a hammer. The closest anvil is just northeast of the Varrock square, so run there, click on the anvil, select the iron dagger from the option menu, and then run back and talk to Charlie. The final 2 things Charlie might task you with are crafting him either a leather body or a pair of leather chaps. To complete this task you'll need a piece of leather, a needle and also some thread. Very simply, use the needle on the leather and craft whichever piece of armour Charlie has asked you for. Once it has been crafted, speak to him again for your reward. Following that are Cryptic Clues. These steps are short riddles which will lead you to speak to an NPC somewhere in RuneScape. There are 4 possible beginner Cryptic Clue steps. So first up on the Cryptic steps is the clue, always walking around the castle grounds and somehow knows everyone's age, which if you think about it you could probably solve, but it is Hans who, as you know, walks around the Lumbridge castle, so if we just teleport and talk to him, he might be around here, he just does a circle around the castle, so he will be somewhere in this vicinity, but we got quite lucky with that. Next up for this Cryptic clue, in a place Duke Horacio calls home, talk to a man with a hat dropped by goblins. You just need to make your way to Lumbridge once again, either by using the Lumbridge or home teleport, and talk to the cook inside of the kitchen, and he will give you your next step. There we go. If you guys get the Cryptic clue, in a village of barbarians, I'm the one who guards the village from up high. It means you need to run over to the barbarian village and climb up a tower to speak to Hunding, who will give you your next step. Once again, easiest way to get there is by teleporting to Varrock, but since I'm in Varrock, I don't really need to teleport there. Whoops, went a little bit too far. Once you get to barbarian village, go in this house here, climb up the ladder. Climb up the ladder again, and speak to Hunding. Next up, if you get this very long Cryptic clue which starts with near the open desert I reside, it means you have to go to Shanty near Shanty's Pass, which is just south of Kharid. So once again on free to play, easiest way to get there is teleporting to Lumbridge or home teleporting, and don't forget your 10 GP to cross through the gate if you haven't done Prince Ali's rescue. If you're on members, again, the easiest way is by using Glory Teleport and then just running south to Shanty Pass. And once you get here, just talk to Shanty. Next up are Emote Clues. These steps require a player to travel to a particular location and perform an emote. Several of these steps require a player to equip certain items. There are 6 possible beginner Emote Clue steps, 3 of which require players to wield the items listed. Next up, for this clue step, we need to make our way to Gypsy Aris, which is just inside this tent here in Varrock, conveniently enough for us, and then we need to make sure we've got both the gold necklace and gold ring equipped before hitting the raspberry emote, and then talk to Yuri. If you guys get the emote step, bow to Brugsen Bursen at the Grand Exchange. Very self-explanatory. Just run over to the Grand Exchange. Easiest way on free-to-play is teleport to Varrock, but I'm already here, so I don't have to worry. And if you're on members, you could always use the Ring of Wealth GE teleport to quickly get there. So once you're at the GE, just simply use the bow emote and talk to Yuri. If you guys get the emote clue, cheer at Iffie Nitter, equip a chef hat and a red cape. Very easy one, right here actually. So if you're already in Varrock, makes it very easy. If not, just teleport to Varrock and run here. And make sure you're equipping your 2 items, then cheer, talk to Yuri, and that's that step done with. So if you get this emote clue, you need to make your way to Bob's Brilliant Axes, which is just outside of Lumbridge Castle. So once again, the easiest way to get there is by either using the home or Lumbridge teleport, and make sure you have both your leather boots and bronze axe with you. If you don't have a pair of leather boots, then you can pick some up in the basement just inside of the Lumbridge kitchen, and if you don't have a bronze axe, you can buy one from Bob. So we're just going to go into his shop, and we need to clap. Oh, didn't equip the axe, that would help. There we go, and then talk to Yuri. Next up, a pretty self-explanatory one, but if you get this clue, then you're going to need to make your way just north of Kharid to the mine. The easiest way to get there on free-to-play is by using the Lumbridge or home teleport, and obviously if you're on members, then you can glory teleport to Kharid and then just run north. And also, if you haven't completed the quest, Prince Ali's Rescue, then you're going to need your 10 GP for the gate, once again if you're on free-to-play. I've completed the quest, so I'm not going to need my 10 GP. Oh, yeah, there we go. For a second there, I thought I hadn't completed it. And once you're at the mine, you can pretty much be anywhere. Just hit the panic emote, which is here, and talk to Yuri for your next step. This clue means you have to use the spin emote inside of Flynn's Mace shop, which is inside of Falador. So once again, easiest way to get there is by using the Falador teleport, and then just running north up here. And once you're in the shop, use the spin emote. and talk to Yuri. Hot/cold clues are next up. These are steps which require the use of an item called the Strange Device, which basically tells the player if they are hotter/closer or colder/further away from the spot that they need to dig from the last time that they press the device. Players need to make sure that they have both a spade and the Strange Device to complete this type of clue step. These are the 5 possible locations where a player may need to dig to get their reward. If you guys receive this in one of your clues where it says buried beneath the ground, who knows where it's found, lucky for you a man named Reldo may have a clue. That means you've just been given a hot/cold clue, which means you're going to need a Strange Device in order to solve it. And where you want to go to get one of those is go and talk to Reldo, who is just inside of the Varrock library. So yeah, if you've got the Varrock teleport unlocked, that's a very easy way to get there. It's just up here north inside of the castle. And when you receive this device, it will tell you if you're hotter or colder the last time that you pressed it, so that from there you can work out whereabouts you're going to have to dig. So this is Reldo, just talk to him and he'll give you a Strange Device. There we go, and now you can use it to help find out where your reward is. Once again guys, I quickly want to mention that the Runelite client is extremely helpful for solving clues, especially the hot-cold clue steps, as it basically just tells you where to go depending where you are on the map. So if we were to click our device, it gives us 3 potential options out of the 5. So most of these are, well, all of these are near Lumbridge, so if I quickly teleport to Lumbridge and then click it again, it should narrow it down, and there we go. It tells us that it's in the patch of mushrooms just northwest of Draynor Manor. So that saves us a lot of time just, you know, having to try and think about it ourselves. So if you do fancy it, then download the Runelite client. And something else to quickly note, the Strange Device won't work if you try to use it when you're above or below the ground. So like there, it says Strange Device doesn't seem to work here, but now that we're on the ground, it will help us out. This spot right here, if it's in the wheat field next to Draynor Village. This spot right here if it's on top of the Ice Mountain. This spot right here if it's in the cow field north of Lumbridge. This spot right here if it's just northwest of Draynor Manor. This spot right here if it's just northeast of the Kharid mine. And the final type of step beginner clues have are map clues. These require players to dig in a specific spot in RuneScape which is shown on the map inside of a beginner clue. Players require a spade in order to complete these clue steps. These are the 5 possible map clues, so skip to whichever you need help with solving. Next up, if you get this map image, it means you need to make your way just south of Varrock to the Champions Guild. So if you aren't in Varrock, like I already am, then the easiest way to get there is the Varrock teleport. And if you're on members, you could use a combat bracelet to teleport directly to the Champions Guild. So once you get here, this is the spot you want to stand on, and then use your spade. If you guys get this image on one of your map clues, then it means you're going to have to make your way just north of Falador. So the easiest way to get there is by using the Falador teleport. And if you haven't unlocked that, then unfortunately you're going to have to run to this spot. And don't forget your spade, because you're going to have to dig once again. So the spot you want is in between this tree and this rock. Just here, and then dig, and there we go, there's the next step. So next up guys, if you get this image in a map clue step, it means you're going to have to make your way back to Draynor Village once again. Quite a few of these steps are in and around Draynor Village, so the easiest way to get there, as always, is either by using the Home or Lumbridge teleport on free to play, and the Glory teleport if you're on members. Once you get here, you need to stand on this spot right here near this willow tree and dig. So next, if you guys get this image on a clue map step, it means you need to go to the mine southeast of Varrock, and since I'm already in Varrock, I don't have to teleport here. But if you're not in Varrock, then obviously you're going to have to use the Varrock teleport, and if you haven't unlocked that, then just run here. You can always use the Chronicle as well if you do have one to teleport to the Champions Guild. That'll be roughly the same amount of time. And once you get here, you want to stand on this square here, right next to the fern, and use your spade. This map clue means you need to make your way just south of the Wizard's Tower, which is just south of Draynor. So once again, the easiest way to get there is by using the Lumbridge or Home teleport, and obviously if you're on members, you can Glory teleport to Draynor Village and then run south. So once you get here, you want to stand on this spot here and dig, and also alternatively on members you can use the ferry ring code DIS to quickly get here as well. So guys, from gathering all the clue step clips for this guide, I managed to complete myself a total of 110 beginner clues, so I thought it'd be a really nice way to end the video by opening them all for you in one massive go, so enjoy guys. In total, from those 110 beginner reward caskets, we managed to snag ourselves 9 unique rewards in the form of 2 pairs of demon feet, 2 shoulder parrots, a monk's robe top tee, a monk's robe bottom tee, a sandwich lady hat, sandwich lady bottom, and also a jester cape, which in total comes to roughly about £1 so not too bad to be honest. And so with that, boys and girls, I hope you've enjoyed this guide and it's inspired you to get out there and do a few beginner clues of your own. But until next time guys, have an amazing rest of your day.